Simple Plan with the Magic Morning Crew. I remember when I put that in the playlist back when I did the night show a million years ago. Actually, I was talking with Mark Breen this morning as we were prepping for the weather forecast. He and I have been working together just over 10 years. It was the 1st of July that I started hosting mornings here at Magic. Well, in that time, we've had some great clients come on board. One of them with us now, Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency. Mike used to work here. Boy, what a turnaround, huh?
I know, right?
Good to have you in. And I got to tell you, I saw some amazing pictures, not only on the NEK Cancer Action Network Facebook page, but Wes Ward's Facebook page. Got to talk about this car show. Boy, the weather played out great.
We really lucked out. Leading into it, we were debating, oh my gosh, do we call this off? Is the weather going to cooperate? Are the roads even passable for people who want to join us from further away? Because we last year had people from, a broad array of communities join us. And it was decided to stay with it. And boy, are we glad we did. Beautiful day. It was hot, but it was not raining, which was our number one goal. Good day to bring beautiful cars. There were some awesome cars there. I saw a nice Studebaker that I hadn't seen a Studebaker before. Motorcycles, trucks, big rigs, happy people, good food with some food vendors that were there. So it was a good event, a great event. And thank you to everyone all the people who came to show their vehicles, and certainly thank you to everybody who showed up to check them out.
All the pictures I saw, I fell in love with. And from what I understand from one of my friends I was talking to, one person owned 4 of these vehicles.
Yes.
4 different generation Corvettes, and they were all white. And I was just like, thump, 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 thump.
Yeah, I took all those pictures, by the way. That was me walking around drooling. So as the pictures went on, if you look really down low, you probably saw puddles of my drool as I was walking around these beautiful cars. So,
all right. So Northeast Kingdom Cancer Action Network, make a donation anytime. And as Mike just said to all of you that headed out this weekend, thank you for your support.
Yes.
Now, we got to talk flooding here. You and I had a great conversation about it that you posted up on all of your links last week, headed into the floods. And, we still got to talk about this because we've still got more flood watches in our forecast.
We do. It's a cyclical thing going on right now that I hope we can break.
I want to ask you a question, okay? Because I remember our chat last week. You couldn't, all of a sudden, hear the weather forecast today, find out that there's flooding for where you live, and then get flood insurance coverage, right?
That's absolutely correct.
How does somebody go about this if they have been impacted by a flood, but they don't have flood insurance? What can we do? How?
Yeah, it's tough, all right? So with flooding, if you look at the perils, and meaning the types of losses that are covered on a homeowner policy, a renter's policy, a business owner's policy, a commercial package policy, among the perils not on there, in fact, specifically excluded, is the loss due to flooding. All right. Now, flood is an inundation of water. The definition of flood, I'll get into momentarily, but the long and short of it is if you were impacted by water and you have no flood insurance, and you believe me, you would know if you have flood insurance because you'd see a flood insurance policy, you unfortunately have no coverage. Now, what is the best practice here? Don't throw your hands up in the air and go, I don't know. I have no idea. I can't do anything. Call your insurance agent. We actually recommend filing a claim. And we've been doing this. In fact, we had a number of people last week that we did this for. I'm sure we'll have more with the issues that happened out in the Callender Brook Road area and parts of Burke and north parts of Sutton over this past weekend. But call and file a claim with your insurance carrier. And yes, it's probably, in fact, I dare say, definitely not going to be covered. But getting a declination of coverage can go a long way because, of course, Vermont has set up multiple resource points for people impacted by flood, including calling 211 or going to the Vermont 211 website. And having a declination certainly could be helpful as there is disaster relief coming. I don't know that Caledonia County has been named as a disaster relief area just yet. I'm hoping it will be, but it's good to have everything kind of front-loaded.
Well, I know Governor Phil Scott is doing the best he can to check out all the regions and get the grand totals so he can find out where the monies can be sent if need be.
Yeah.
So you're saying that even if you're a homeowner or renter, business owner, so on, if you don't have flood insurance, to file the claim?
I think it makes sense to have that official declination on file so that if you have an opportunity to go get grants or federal or state assistance, that they can confirm that you didn't have coverage for it.
Okay.
So it doesn't hurt. It's painful. Jeff, I'll tell you, to tell somebody, I'm sorry, you don't have coverage for something this devastating to you is heartbreaking. Now, I always tell people that you should never buy insurance because somebody tells you to. You should always be purchasing insurance to protect yourself. Find an opportunity or a layer of protection to keep yourself from financial harm. And this is the epitome of that reasoning. People typically have flood insurance because they are either financing a purchase of a home or financing like a refi of a home, and a bank tells them they have to if they're in a high risk area. Truth be told, everybody can have flood insurance.
Okay, so just a little bit ago, you said you were going to get into the definition of what is a flood. Now, is there a difference between an actual flood declaration or some kind of other water event?
No, it doesn't have to be a flood declaration. Now, think about this. Flood is basically water that's either coming from a body of water, such as a river or a pond or a stream or a lake, but it's also an inundation of water or surface water. If so much rain coming down, there's nowhere for it to go. It's going to do what it did in Calendar Brook, and it's just going to start taking out land and causing its own problems. So with the National Flood Insurance Program, and bear in mind, if you're not a FEMA town, and you're not going to be able to get the National Flood Insurance Program, you have to be in a FEMA town that's actually approved and active, which towns can do. In fact, I know some that are still looking into doing that, but towns like Lyndonville and St. Johnsbury and Littleton, New Hampshire are all part of it, and Waterford is another one. There's a few others, but some don't. But the private flood insurance is certainly an option for everybody. Now, the definition of flood typically has to deal with how much has been impacted, right? So there's a certain amount of acreage that has to have been inundated with water, or a certain number of neighbors, in addition to you, must have had suffered a loss. That's the flood insurance program through the federal government. Some of the private carriers have a broader definition of flood, meaning it's probably more in your favor, less impact of land, less impact of loss to others for you to have what's considered a flood loss to your house.
Okay, so my friend Elwin, down in St. Johnsbury, if you ever been down by St. J. Auto, when you look up to the back center road up there.
Yes.
That big farm up there. That's my friend Elwin.
Nice.
Now, Elwin also owns that big cornfield down by the river.
Yes.
Now, is that a large enough patch of land that would qualify?
Yeah.
Because you're saying acreage.
Yeah, but it's, I don't want to dive into the adjuster world of a National Flood Insurance Program, but yeah, if there's that much acreage and you're a house adjacent to it, yeah, that's probably going to meet the definition. So, but even getting a declination of coverage from the flood program, which you would think you wouldn't get, but it is possible. That's something that you need to be aware of. So I think when seeking coverage for flood, you should be looking at the coverage, what triggers that specific loss. And remember, too, that the biggest thing with the Calendar Brook Road loss, and certainly last week was similar, too, it was a lot of land. It wasn't physical property in all the cases. It was land as well. Land is not covered. Insurance doesn't cover land. So if you lost your driveway, if you lost a culvert going into your driveway, if you lost an embankment next to your house, sure, your house is now exposed more in some cases to a flood loss, and you would think a company in their best interest would want to help you. But again, if a tree partially falls down, they'll cover the tree that fell down, but if the rest of that tree is still standing and there's still a chance of that tree coming down, they're not going to cut it down. I know I don't make the rules. I just relay them here. So it's not a comfortable thing, but all you can do is the owner of property is mitigate to the best of your ability.
All right. So some questions have been answered. Some questions have been raised, but I think from start to finish here in our chat, and I know you want to bring your little man over here.
He's jumping to say something.
He is. Ethan's in with us, by the way. I think what we've pointed out here is the very important thing is to have the conversation with your insurance agent.
It makes a lot of sense. And I'll tell you, Jeff, in the past week, we've sold a number of new flood policies. People saying, you know what, I've seen what's happened to my neighbors. I don't want that to happen to me.
All right.
And they're all having coverage starting in 30 days.
The worst time to find out.
Yeah, how good your insurance coverage is when a loss occurs.
Tell them how to get in touch with you.
Barrett Insurance, we're on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com, Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency. And Ethan, Ethan is my 9-year-old, going to be 10 in September son.
Yeah,
going to the NVU basketball camp today, which he's excited about.
Well, of course he is. Come on over here, Ethan. Get over there.
What do you want to say?
I don't know.
He just wants to say hi to all his friends.
Just say hi or something.
Hi.
So hold on real quick, Ethan. I asked you when Dad said you were going up to NBU Linden for basketball camp. I said you get to play basketball with the Hornets. Are you serious?
Yes, I am serious.
That is so cool, man.
Yeah. Like, dude, I would jump for that chance, but they called me Michael Airball Barrett. So, yeah. You excited?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
Of course. Do you want to shout out to one of your friends up at the college? Just say hey.
to a friend at the college if you want, or Coach Dave.
Hi, Coach Dave.
There you go.
All right.
Great. Thanks for bringing young Ethan in, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping us up to date. We'll see you in a week, and thanks for all you do with the NEK Cancer Action Network.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. It is Good Policies with Magic in the Morning, and we had the music from BTS.